is a Shadow-centric episode of the Super Smash Bros. Cinematic Universe Box Office Records. As in the word Shadow, not the character Shadow. As they finally Shadow dropped the Nintendo Switch 2 first look trailer and formally announced the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct on April 2nd. And at the time of this recording, this video marks the 3rd anniversary of this channel. But before we explore the word Shadow any further, let's take a look at Domestic. And we're just gonna keep on adding to that overall total until the inevitable release on digital next week. But thankfully, the fans are still bringing in the money and making Domestic kick Mufasa's butt. With $206,498,000. Now let's see how our friends overseas did. Well, it hasn't moved much yet, but I have a feeling it might go further in the coming weeks. At least right now, we have $203,500,000. But I do have something to report for worldwide. They did it. Those sons of guns did it. We finally moved the ranking. And now Sonic 3 sits comfortably on 4th place. With $419,998,000. We only need a mere $2,000 to even it out to $420 million. It's hard not to plant that info on you. Sure, we're going to need a lot to take down Mufasa overseas because it's nearly $600 million right now. However, there is the detail that not all of the countries still have given their information yet, as we are still missing Bangladesh, Bolivia, Bulgaria, China, Cyprus, Egypt, Estonia, Hungary, Iceland, Latvia, Lebanon, Lithuania, Maldives, Nepal, Norway, Pakistan, the Philippines, Serbia and Montenegro, Slovenia, Switzerland, Thailand, Trinidad, Turkey, Ukraine, Venezuela, and Vietnam to hear from. And I know some of those countries are filled with cash, just saying. Now it's time to switch gears with a special episode of Secret Level with some commentary with a debut from my friend Southern Belle from Hell. I give you the Pac-Man episode, with a bonus one after that. Honestly, I'm feeling a little hungry. Episode 6 was the one that we Smash fans thought we were waiting for. Pac-Man with the title of Circle. Based on the classic franchise that debuted in the arcades on May 22nd, 1980. By what was originally Namco. With a teleplay written by J.T. Petty. I won't sugarcoat this, folks. This ain't Pac-Man. This is an Elseworld interpretation of the essence of the game.
Eat or be eaten.
This is bloody, gnarly, and visceral in the worst way possible. This ain't Pac-Man for kiddies. They turned Pac-Man into an evil entity hell-bent on gluttony. Not sure what the intent of this was for, but again, this is not the Namco character we know and love. This is a facsimile. This clearly wasn't the adaptation of the character by Fox. I would venture to say this was a parody. An awful parody.
You must be hungry.
If you like Pac-Man as a charming character, steer clear of this episode at all costs. I will be looking at the history of the real character in the future. Stay tuned.
2 days later.
To all the winners of our esports categories. All right, the Game Awards opening act presented by State Farm is moving forward as we reveal 2 more world premieres. This first one is an alternate take on a legendary series from Bandai Namco.
Wait a second! Are you telling me that episode was actually... What? This is Pac-Man! They actually were using that episode as a... What the heck? It's Shadow Labyrinth! It was an ad for Shadow Labyrinth. You're telling me I had recorded the review for the episode and then they flipped the script?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, when I was watching that, I got kind of hyped. So all of that was just bogus, I guess. I guess it's kind of like, because with that, watching that was intriguing. So I guess that was how they pulled in viewers for Shadow Labyrinth, was like, let's add something that'll intrigue viewers to get a response. Even though it's technically kind of like false advertising.
I mean, that's exactly what it was. False advertising. Needless to say, I was humbled. So, after that event, I think we should approach this review in a completely different way. Episode 6 features Shadow Labyrinth, developed by Bandai Namco Studios, with the head of the development team by Katsuhiro Harada, the producer of the Tekken series, with its overall development starting in 2020. Which puts a lot more things into perspective, which means we gotta treat this story by JT Petty as its own entity. Because the title of Circle now makes a lot more sense. Because this story serves as both a standalone and a prologue at the same time. Because it establishes the whole point of the game of Shadow Labyrinth, and it points out the cyclical nature of Puck's scheme. This introductory story focuses on Puck and the enigmatic character called the Swordsman. In this clear reinterpretation of the formula, giving small nods to the original game,
You can eat them
while
over and
crafting
over
its
again.
own rulebook.
Trust's never there.
Sure, it's bloody
We will open
and
the door.
gnarly, but that's for good reason. Because, yes, it's not Pac-Man. It's a completely
time.
new franchise within the series of Pac-Man. That means Secret Level gave us the debut of a new character that is capable of being in Smash. That means we could realistically hear the announcer pick
The Swordsman!
as a realistic new addition to the Smash 6 roster. 6 or 7, take your pick. Why? Because Shadow Labyrinth is coming to the Nintendo Switch the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X and S, and PC, as well as Steam. And it's coming this year. As long as this game comes out before the cutoff date Sakurai chooses his characters, there's a chance. So let's review. This is Pac-Man, and this is Puck. Let's never, ever confuse the two. How about some action? Episode 7 is Crossfire. Crossfire! No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one either. There you go. Crossfire is an online tactical first-person shooter game developed by Smilegate Entertainment for the Windows computer. Released first in South Korea on May 3rd of 2007. Then in China in August 28th of 2008. And finally reached here in North America on January 30th, 2009. Essentially, the game is a dueling between special forces groups. Considering we have the Russian Oman, or the OMO as they say in Russia, of which acronym translates to Special Purpose Police Unit, the LAPD SWAT, which is an all-female team. Karen's clearly running that one. The British SAS, which is the Special Air Service, and SBS, which is a Special Boat Service. The Brazilian BOP, which translates to Police Special Operations Battalion. The German GSG-9, which is a police tactical unit of the German Federal Police. The Korean 707th Special Mission Group. United Nations Special Forces, aka Black Raven, and the American Navy SEALs, which stands for Sea, Air, and Land. And none of them share advantages or disadvantages between each other. This title also offers a number of different game modes, including Team Deathmatch, Search and Destroy, Elimination or Wipeout, Ghost Mode, Free for All, Zombie Mode, Escape Mode, Hero Mode, Zombie Apocalypse Mode, Wave Mode, Shadow Mode, and Soccer Mode. The short, however, translated a dueling game into a bit of a police drama, choosing instead to focus on Global Risk and Blacklist from the games.
We're not the bad guys.
Blurring the line of what is considered to be good or bad in that line of work. Makes sense with the title of Good Conflict. The short was based off a short story by Russ Litton and was written by Philip Gillette. It was a typical police drama with a little bit of bad blood mixed within. They all were trying to retrieve the package, never finding out what the actual package was. This was also the most audibly R-rated short of them all. It felt the least like it came from a video game. It was pretty boring. Well, we went from controversial to mundane. To offset that, let's talk about things that are coming up in the next few months. Like the inevitable first Nintendo Direct of the year, then Pokemon Day on the 27th, then we have Mario Day on the 10th of March, and of course we have the Switch 2 Direct on April 2nd, of course. Then how about upcoming films and shows? Let's take a look at those now. When one door closes, another door opens. We lost one show and gained another, because Castlevania Nocturne Season 2 just released. What we have left is a Minecraft movie coming out on April 4th by Warner Brothers that was made because they have a reluctance to put actual Steve on the big screen, which makes us Smash Brothers fans mad. I'll still be buying a Steve plush before the movie releases. At least the film will have the decency to show husks before they become zombies. The word's out if they show Enderman as well as Ender Dragon. I mean, I appreciate that the movie has practical effects, but it would behoove them to have actual characters from the games. And people are already calling them out for their false potatoes. We'll see how many more cut corners that will be found by the experts before I become a Minecraft scholar. I am aware that I have to support Minecraft for Smash Brothers lore, but I'm also still very bitter that Cubivore never took off over here. Well then, one cube world to rule them all. You know, you have to wonder how Notch feels about all of this. Because as far as I know, Minecraft is the only game that has exploded to make a movie. And not just a game, an indie game. I should have specified indie game from the start. Well, let's see if Warner Brothers has the gumption to advertise this movie as well as Sonic 3 was. Well, at least we'll learn more about Street Fighter. It's coming out on March 20th next year by Sony and Legendary. And when they drop the first teaser, you know I'll be taking a look at it. That goes also for the Super Mario Bros. Movie too, coming out April 3rd next year by Universal Illumination. Followed after by Sonic the Hedgehog 4 coming out Spring 2027 by Paramount and Skydance. For TV shows, we have Secret Level Season 2 coming out hopefully in April of this year by Amazon Prime. Tim Miller, put stuff from Nintendo on there, please. Now we get to the section where we know Bupkis about. Well, nearly Bupkis. We certainly have Bupkis about Metal Gear Solid, even though Sony said stuff at CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, where they showed Helldivers 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn as movie projects. And not a single peep about Metal Gear Solid. Seriously, both Disney and Sony have very strange priorities. Making villain movies without Spider-Man in them, and not making sure that the staff of Across the Spider-Verse are treated kindly. They seriously deserved what happened during the interview. As in the movie with Dave Franco and Seth Rogen. Yes, I'm talking about that untalented schlub. Yes, I know that's being redundant. Well, here's hoping we learn more about Zelda during the next Direct, hopefully this February. And on Pokemon Day, let's see if the Pokemon Company cares about making films again. Because the last Detective Pikachu movie was out in 2019. It is 2025. These people are ridiculous. The subsidiaries of Nintendo have either bad security or bad legal. Then there's Disney with their video game projects. And we have Mega Man that has not seen the light of day even in Capcom, but at least on Secret Level. We'll get there. Whereas Bandai Namco is more focused on giving Pac-Man spin-offs than his own movie. Instead, he's used as jokes, like in Pixels and Wreck-It Ralph. At least we'll learn the release date for Shadow Labyrinth in the next Nintendo Direct. Last, we have the shows in production with no release date, and that's the live-action Pokemon show featuring Red by Netflix, and the Minecraft animated series by Netflix, which we have no idea who is going to be in it, or if they feature any characters we recognize at all. And we are done. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe, and smash that bell in order to get notifications on the channel where everything grows on you.